Today we have Advocate Mapipa here with us. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining and making the time to just come and sit and talk to us. Please, please, please do me a huge favor and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And the voice is power. Your voice is power. Thank you, Vicky, for hosting me. My name is Lihle Mapipa. I come from KZN, KwaZulu-Natal. Grew up in a township called Lazi Township. That's where I come from. That's about it for now. I'm not sure if you want me to carry on into what I do.
Yes, I would love to know what you do. You're an advocate. So I think for me, what's really important, and also maybe for the viewers out there, is just really, how did your journey start? Like, how did you know I want to be an advocate?
Nice question. Thank you for that question, Vicky. Growing up, I was very curious, very inquisitive. The decision for me to become a lawyer was secondary. Whilst I was inquisitive and wanting to know things, my role model as I was growing up was my mom's friend, who was a social worker. And I thought, okay, maybe I should be a social worker because no auntie drives a nice car, and she works with people. I love people. This is my second nature. So I thought, okay, that's going to be my first choice. But then I realized that there was something that was affecting me personally, which made me activate the enforcement of my rights at the time. Okay. It was an issue relating to the surname. Yeah, I won't get too much into it, but it's something that I had to consult the social workers about and get it right. There was something wrong that had happened. So when I consulted with the social workers, remember I said that was my mom's friend, and she said, no, you have a right to stand up for the correction of your surname and get it right.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, wow, if I have that right, and then if I can implement it, how about I become a lawyer so that I can also enlighten other people about their rights and the implementation thereof. And I was like, oh, okay, that's another option. So I thought, okay, since I was able to fight for my rights as young as I was, because that was at a junior, a high school level, that I was, fighting for my rights, and eventually I got it right. That's the surname I'm using, and that's why I kept to the surname, even, So I thought, oh, how about I then take law as a subject and as a career, and stand for justice. In fact, Vicky, that's my motto. My motto is standing for justice.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought, this is what I want to do from when I was in high school. And then I was eventually lucky enough that eventually I got into varsity and was accepted into law. So from that time on, my motto has been standing for justice.
Yes, and that's such a beautiful motto as well to utilize, because standing in justice, that's your voice. That's the voice that you're projecting out there. And I think as a young person learning from something, an experience, you've created something from that. And what steps that you have to take? Because also if we I think advocate, I'm like, wow, advocate. Advocate's like, it's there. Like, what steps as a young person does one have to take to actually get a law degree or have to go and study for specific areas in that? Because the field is so vast, right? The field is really big. So what steps did you have to take to actually get there?
Okay. For me, back in the days, I took a degree which was called a B.Juris, which no longer exists. It now only exists in our certificates. But basically, it was a junior law degree that introduced you into various areas of the law. It was generic. After that, we had a senior degree, which was an honors degree, which you could do after either the B.Juris or the Big Proc, which were junior law degrees. So I then did an LLB. The LLB that we did back then is not the same as the LLB that is offered now by our institutions of higher learning. Ours was a higher degree. So now when you want to enter into law, you do an LLB, which is a junior degree. That's the first one that is available if you want to do purely law and venture into law related fields. However, there are other degrees that you can enter law into through. So there is also what is called BA Law, which is a Bachelor of Arts with a touch of law. If you don't want to be purely a lawyer and concentrate only on the law careers, you can go for a BA Law, which opens up other opportunities in terms of the courses. With BA Law, you can do law courses coupled with maybe your dramatic arts, if you are a person who likes drama, your humanities courses like your psychology, political sciences, even business studies. You can add any other thing to law, because law is a subject that opens up many doors. So if you don't want to be purely a lawyer, you can do BA Law. There's also something else that is called another junior degree that you can do, which is called a BCom Law. If you are too much into accounting and business, and you just want to do business and law, then you can take up a junior degree called a BCom Law. Okay. So that will give you both the business and the law, whereas the BA Law will open other opportunities in the humanities space. So yes, once you finish your LLB, okay, in my case, I moved from a B.Juris, past B.Juris, which was a junior degree. Then I did my second degree, which was LLB, then proceeded to do my master's in law, which is LLM. So my master's in law now was narrowing my specialties. So it was in corporate law. So that's when I was deciding now which area of the law I want to concentrate in.
Yes.
So in my LLM, that's where I chose that I want to do corporate law. It was a mixture of corporate law, tax law, constitutional and administrative law, and I also added a maritime law.
Sure, so you really you want to keep yourself quite busy there, busy. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and then later.
Why not a criminal lawyer? Why didn't you become a criminal lawyer?
Why did I not become a criminal lawyer? Okay, whilst criminal law was part of my studies, because when you're doing your junior degree, you have to go through all the areas of the law, including criminal law, so that you can understand how the system works, the procedure, and how you can deal with such if you have to do that. But my decision not to do criminal law was I found out that during the course of my tenure as a candidate attorney. They're now called candidate attorneys. I was confronted, or I was given a case which was very touching to me because it was a rape case, a rape of a young woman who was gang raped by 4 men. And this is a real case. So as a candidate attorney, you can't say no to a case that you are given. So because it's part of your training. But for me as a person, it didn't sit well. But because I had chosen the path of being a lawyer, I had to do it. I had to remove myself from the case, from the emotions of the case, and deal with the case. But as I was reading through the statements, the file that I had been given, I was in tears because I started putting myself in the shoes of this young woman who was gang raped. And whilst I was supposed to be defending these 4 guys,
Yes.
remember I had to defend the guys who were alleged to have gang raped this young woman. As a defense lawyer, you have to stand by your client. You have to try by all means to find ways and means to find justice for your clients. So in this case, I thought, at a glance, I thought, I don't think that this young woman could be lying when she is alleging that she was gang raped. And could it be possible that she could lie that all of them forced themselves into her? And the evidence that I saw in the file was showing that, hey, my guys, inverted commas, my clients,
Until proven guilty, right?
yes, are innocent. Yes, they're innocent until proven guilty. But in my mind, I was conflicted as a woman. I found myself to be conflicted. I am a woman, remain a woman, but I had to be a lawyer and defend these men and find ways to diffuse the allegations. I pray to God that, okay, give me strength to be as impartial as possible and do what I have to do. Try and find if there's any defense. Just to cut a long story short, the case didn't proceed because they consistently failed to appear in court. They consistently failed to make themselves available for me to consult with them so that I could get their version of the story to compare it against the version of the complainant, the young lady. So so it came to a point where one of them passed on whilst we were trying to find them, and then a warrant of arrest was issued for another one who went on the run. The other 2 were in prison, but for some reason they were not cooperating.
Yes.
So in such cases, you as the legal representative, you have a right to withdraw. Because the versions that I was getting from the 2 that were in prison were so much in conflict, to such an extent that I thought, look, I don't think they are giving me the whole story to empower me to defend them. So if you find yourself in such a situation as a lawyer, you have a right to withdraw from the case. So God gave me strength to carry on until a point where I could, in terms of the law, withdraw. Yes. So I didn't withdraw up front because the law didn't allow me to do that. But I think God answered my prayers. Yes. From then on, I decided that once I pass my board exams, I'm not going to defend lawyers. I'm sorry, I'm not going to defend criminals.
I love how you say lawyers.
I'm not going to defend criminals. So then I decided to take the path.
No offense to any lawyers out there.
No, that's exactly why I decided not to take law, because I thought I started with a very sensitive case, which I thought as a woman, I took it personally, up to a point where at least God assisted me to exit from the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really important, is that you have to find your core values, your core belief with anything that you do. And if it's not sitting right with you, then exit, because then you're not going to be able to provide the best possible service to your clients. I think that's really in any industry, you know. And what you also said is, like, you have to detach. You have to detach your physical emotions and your opinion, and really step into, okay, now I'm going to be the defense lawyer, or now I'm going to be the advocate that's going to work on this project, and not bring my own personal opinions, my own personal home dramas, my own personal, I was just cross with the taxi that came in front of me, you know. You have to leave it at home when you stepped into any platform and having to defend or work. So yeah, I was actually going to ask you, how do you detach yourself from your work and then balance your family, you know, your social life? How do you balance all of that as well? Because your work is quite intense. It consumes a lot of you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, because you target a lot of different fields, you know.
Yeah. Yes, I'll start from the point of detaching yourself from the case. You, as a lawyer, any lawyer, in any area of the law, you have to stick to the facts. Yes, your opinion matters, but as long as it is not divorced from the facts, because your opinion has to come from the facts. So your emotions have to be
out the door.
Out the door. And who your client is has to be out the door. So I will even go into the politics, and I know that we're not talking about politics, but as a lawyer, you can defend, or you can be instructed, or you can take work from any political party. So you have to be politically independent. So that you can serve your clients in the most impartial way as possible.
Yes.
As possible.
No, of course, definitely. I think that's really important. And then just tell us a little. So, other than just being an advocate, which is an incredible achievement, because there's different levels, are you going to become a judge?
I'm not sure. I have had my stints as a judge. You know, when the judges have to take leave, the judiciary does come to us who are not judges, but who are lawyers and fit enough to act as judges.
To step into that role.
To step into that role. Yes, they do call, they invite us up to the bench. So I've also had that opportunity of taking the bench and taking some stints. And when you step into the bench, you become the judge. You do everything that a judge does, but the term is acting judge. But you're not acting. You do everything that the judge is.
You do execute at the end of the day.
You execute everything that the judge would execute, whether it's a civil a court or a criminal court. I must say I loved the criminal court. You know, contrary to what it's not contrary. In fact, I found it very interesting to be a judge in the criminal court, because now it was talking to my values, to stand for justice.
To stand for justice, and actually making a change.
And making a change, and making sure that using the facts before me and listening to the arguments before me, by the prosecutor and the defense lawyers, and for me to apply the facts and then make a judgment gave me a satisfaction that I am really standing for justice. It was speaking to my motto of standing for justice.
So I'm going to wait for you to be completely stepping into that position of the judge. I'm going to wait for that.
Time will tell.
When we have the next episode, well, not the next one, I'm going to definitely have you back on our next episode because I do feel that we do need to talk a little bit more. But when we put that judge hat on, we are going to, because we're twinning today, this was like such a coincidence. We're twinning today. We are definitely going to twin that day and celebrate that, because I think it's such an imperative, coming from where you're coming. I think that is such a great step to take, just to really make that change, because I don't think just anybody can do that. I don't just think anybody can be a judge, because as a judge, you are completely and utterly in control of a person's life. And you can either, I think from an attorney's point of view, sometimes facts can be put forward, and sometimes victims in some cases don't have those facts, and sometimes people that have power and that have money and that can fabricate, people can fabricate facts today as well, and then there is the victims that don't have that power. So I think you're going to be one of those judges that will be able to see above just what is presented and actually see to the core of the person. Because at the end of the day, yes, facts do speak, but you have to be quite clever in terms of just asking and seeing, are these attorneys just being really clever attorneys, and getting paid really, really good money to defend what potentially is not right. So yeah, I'm very excited to see you there and having those conversations. And thank you so much for coming and just talking to us. And bringing a bit of life to just what your field stands for, because it is vast. It's very vast, My son wants to be an attorney, and I'm like, what attorney do you want to be,
Yeah, so it all starts with a junior law degree, and they have to, with the junior law degree, you do everything. Then afterwards, you get a chance to specialize. Yeah, so don't worry about what he wants to do with law at this stage. Just allow him, to go into LLB if he wants to be a lawyer, unless he wants to venture into business early. So you can just direct him towards BCom law or BA law, and take it from there.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'm absolutely honored, and I cannot wait for you guys to join us. I'm having our beautiful advocate back for our next episode. I am officially inviting you. Please do come. We are going to be airing every Thursday at 8 p.m. So please join in and just come and listen and learn. And if you also have any questions, or if you want to see anybody specifically that we must invite on My Voice is Power, please do DM us, do send us some messages. Or if you have some questions just in terms of what we are discussing already, so that we can get those questions back to you again. Well, the answers, not the questions. The answers back to you. Thank you.